Welcome to the Real American Road Trips podcast series from ICAST 24 in Orlando, Florida. On this episode, we sit down with the company Battery Tender. Y'all check it out. So down here at ICAST, I'm with my good buddy Michael Prelick with Battery Tender. And they've got some cool products and that are geared towards helping guys like me maintain our batteries and then making our lives on our boats a lot better. So as far as ICAST, how's the experience for you guys so far?
Oh, it's great. It's the perfect show. It's not work. It's fun.
Exactly, 100%. So I'm very familiar with your company, but for somebody that might not be, what is Battery Tender and how can they help us as far as with our boats, with our batteries, with our, our items?
Well, Battery Tender brand's been around since 1989. We actually started in the marine industry with a partnership with AC Delco back in the day.
Really?
So the charging side of the business actually got started here in the marine industry, and we grew more in power sports, motorcycles, ATVs, jet skis. That's where the big part of the business has been from.
Right.
So kind of more the fringe side of the marine.
Right.
And then very heavy in the automotive end of the business. But over the last handful of years or so, we've really made kind of a resurgence with a lot more products back in the marine industry.
Which makes sense. You're here at ICAST for that. So do you guys have a new product or something that you're pushing this year or that you've come out with, or in the past few years that you're trying to get, still out there?
Yeah, the last 3 years been a lot of product development,
right?
Marine oriented. So we've launched essentially three charger lines within the marine side of the business. Kind of what we've deemed to be our weekend warrior line.
Yes.
For the probably 80-90% of the boaters out there that need a 2, 3, 4 bank, but they only use the boat maybe once a week, once a month.
Yeah.
Couple times a season.
Yeah.
And then this year we just started shipping here in the last month or two our professional side of the the captains and the guys that are really heavily fishing tournaments back to back. A lot more power on those.
Yeah.
And then obviously with kind of the development on the lithium side.
That was where I was getting ready to go. Yeah.
A lot of the guys are running lighter lithium batteries.
Yes.
They have a higher voltage, so it actually is better for the trolling motors.
Right.
And we have a new line on that side as well, so that they could have real fast turnaround, because those guys are typically that are investing that kind of money.
Yeah.
Are spending a lot of time on the water.
They are. So. And I was going to ask about that because I fish in the electric only world. So these reservoirs that are coming out now, no gas motors at all. And a lot of the guys are going to lithium because they want that extra mile per hour speed. We're not as fast as the gas motors and all that, but the battery requirements that a lot of us are using now, especially on the lithium side, we're running 48 volt systems. I know some guys that have motors now that are 196 volts and they're running lithiums, in series and all to get that. So I was wanting to see if you guys have come out, with that lithium market for guys like me who use those kind of things.
Absolutely. In fact, I would say probably at this point, the vast majority of all of our chargers actually have lithium settings.
Okay.
So whether it be a power sport battery, an automotive battery, a racing battery, or a marine, deep cycle, we've got a charger that can charge it. And as I was telling you, for the lithium series, for the guys running single lithiums, we even have a 48 volt. Obviously, there's a lot of crossover there for the for the RV, and a lot of crossover in the golf cart industry as well.
Well, you know how anglers are. You fish yourself. We're always looking for an edge or something like that. And if a battery can give us more time on the water with less maintenance, that's a plus for us. And with all our trolling motor requirements and everything. And that was a cool thing because you've got this product right here too that caught my eye, that is geared for us that use our trolling motors a lot. So tell me a little bit about this.
So this is our trolling motor plug. We actually we've been working with quite a few OEMs over the past probably 8-9 years.
Right.
We've got a partnership with Rodan, and we've got a bunch of the Southeast marine companies. Partnership with Yellowfin, Edgewater, Solus, just to name a few that are installing this now at the factory. The big difference here is if you're familiar with kind of the more traditional trolling motor plugs,
right?
They've got a set of prongs on them that are exposed.
Right.
And what ends up happening is that, you're all up at the front of the boat, you got a fish on, and it's a 3-ring circus, and you end up kicking that plug, and over time you get a little bit of a wiggle. And that wiggle ends up causing arcing and corrosion, and can actually damages the trolling motor. The big advantage with our plug is they're overrated. So they're at about 48 volts at about 70 amps, which is far more than the traditional trolling motor is pulling.
Yeah.
But the big thing too is that it locks in place.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing right there on top.
So once you get that good firm lock, there's no way for it to wiggle. There's no way for it to get the arcing or the corrosion down in there, because there's a nice, good, firm seal on it.
Yeah, that's excellent, because a lot of guys like myself, we're a little rough on our equipment, and we're not paying attention to all the wires down there. And I have been known to kick things a time or two. So, do you have this on your boat? I know you fish.
I do, but I don't have a trolling motor on my boat. I've got a little bit or center console that I do a lot more trolling.
Yes.
But I actually use it for a downrigger.
Okay.
So, for electric reels, downriggers, anything where you're pulling, a good amount of amps through it.
Right.
It's a perfect connection. You can buy the extra, the male connector that would mount in the boat, and then on your accessory, whether it be a downrigger, electric reel, trolling motor, you can have the plug side of it.
I think this is awesome. And that's very simple to use, and it makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure why it took so long for somebody to come up with this genius idea, but that is actually a very good product. And I've seen a lot of products down here, and some of them, people are not reinventing the wheel. There's been very few that have been like eye-catching kind of things, but this actually is one of them, just because why did somebody think about that? It's simple, locks in place, and very durable and all that. So, going forward, Battery Tender as a company, are there new markets you guys are trying to get into? What's the plan for the company over the next, say, 5-10 years?
Well, we're actually in the process of coming out with a whole new line of batteries.
You're gonna have your own batteries now.
We're gonna have our own line of lithium batteries, and we were in it for a while.
Yeah.
We learned a lot. We saw some of the trials and tribulations that users went through.
Right.
Not just using our batteries, but lithium in general in the early years.
Yeah.
And so the thrust right now is really building on the tech stack within the battery itself.
Yeah.
So our hope is at next year's ICAST to really raise some eyebrows in the battery industry.
That would be awesome. And again, I tell the guys that we fish with and all that, you can buy these batteries. Everybody's coming out with a lithium and all that, but if you're going to buy lithium with the warranties and everything, it needs to be from an established company, a company that you'll know will be around, that's got the name. And you know where I'm going with that. Yep. And that's unfortunate that a lot of, copycat batteries are out there and all that really don't have the the details in them, the paying attention to how it's built, stand behind their warranties and all that. So that's a good thing, because now you've got the charger, you've got the batteries, you've got the connections. Y'all have everything that anybody could need.
It becomes a vertical solution for an end user to be able to have a product.
That's it.
Start to finish from the heart, the battery, all the way through to the motor, whatever electric motor they're using.
I think that's fantastic. Well, Michael, I tell you what, I appreciate you coming by and just giving us a little insight and dropping a little bit to look forward to and all that. But I think guys definitely need to hook up with this right here.
So appreciate
just any retailer, or is there a website?
Obviously through our website, but we have,
BatteryTender.com.
BatteryTender.com, or go to your local marine dealer. That's probably the easiest way. We distribute, through wholesale distribution. So any of these dealers can absolutely go through their distributor to buy the product.
That's awesome. You guys with trolling motors, you need to get this right here. So, all right. So you mentioned to me that, you got a center console, and you also kind of mentioned downrigger when we were talking about that connector. So what kind of fishing do you like to do?
My favorite's trolling. And I mean, we're out of Central Florida here, so right up the road from ICAST. And so I think absolute favorite, springtime, mahi, chasing the mahi, chasing the wahoo. Get an occasional sailfish up this way in the fall. So
what I want you to do is, I just experienced my first downrigging trolling up on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
For kings and lake trout, 100 foot deep trolling up there. How is that different from here? How deep are you really going when you say trolling here? Are you subsurface? I mean, what is it here?
Most of the trolling that I do, or that my friends and I do, I mean, on the surface for mahi, sailfish,
Right.
and such.
So
I mean,
you're
when we're
pulling-
using a downrigger,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times we're just trying to catch that that random wahoo that's coming through, or
Yeah.
that may be down about 50 to 75 feet.
And what's the best time of year to do that?
Up in this area,
Yeah.
you can usually catch wahoo probably right on the ledge in about the 28 fathom at typically between November and February is best time. But
Yeah.
we get kind of a good, a nice little wahoo run out on the what we call the steeples, which are the mounds or the mounts, anywhere from May to July.
Sounds fun. We need to get together and do that.
100%.
I've never done that before. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
It's good when you get one on.
Well, Michael, again, I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with me for a little bit. Definitely going to check all this stuff out, but I really think you and I need to kind of hook up, get on your boat, go have a little bit of fun.
Let's
Maybe
plan a
you can
trip.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. If you're up for it, I'm up for it.
100%.
That's awesome.